We're cruising at nearly 5,000 feet, and I'm going to do a little sky dancing with Sean D. Tucker.
Jeff, I want to tell you about some of the work that was done by investigators to finally lead to this arrest. But first, because we are at Layla's bus stop, I want to take an opportunity to tell you about another big piece of news that was shared at the press conference. In Monday's city council meeting, council members voted against moving forward with any plans to build micro cottages. Let's talk about why this decision matters to you. Smaller sea life is usually what is washing ashore right now in Southwest Florida. But just about a week ago, in a rare move, Chris Holloway defending himself, acting as his own attorney. It is still pretty warm and the water obviously not cool enough for our manatees to start heading in. I'm here at Manatee Park, where you can only imagine in a couple of months these guardrails are going to be filled with visitors. Let's show you that hashtag ripple effect. The Conservancy of Southwest Florida wanted to put a focus on 4 different things that are feeling this algae. That includes our seagrass. Obviously one for Gillum here for governor and DeSantis there. Secondly, our amendments on the ballot. There's 12. That's a lot. ABC7 is doing a great job breaking them down for you to make it easier come election day. About 6:15, and you can see here at the weather dish, easily in the 80s, even pushing 90s. But we're not talking about our outside temperature. We're talking about the temperature inside our cars. These drones are becoming more and more user-friendly, but it's the laws, the regulations, the paperwork that are slowing things down. Take us, for example. We had to go at least 5 miles away to record this. But if this bill passes, it's going to make it a lot easier for police to patrol from the sky. Let me tell you about today a little bit. The atmosphere, the mood was almost celebratory, as if the election had passed and they had won. Of course, I'm talking about the Republican Party. This year's red tide bloom has not been good for our manatee population here in Florida. Here are some numbers to back that up. There have been 67 confirmed deaths from this year's red tide bloom.
They didn't put it there. No, we put it there.
All the blame for the pollution in our water essentially falls on our shoulders.
It's important to understand, too, that it's not just the whale or the albatross. These things and the effects of these plastics are having impacts on humans as well.
Associate Professor of Biology at FGCU, Nora Demers, says we have to clean up our act fast. Not just for our wildlife, but for us.
They're disrupting our behaviors, maybe leading to obesity, ADHD, lots of other things that are happening in our society can be linked to the impacts of these plastics and how we're using them.
Let's talk about that beached whale that was found off the coast of Asia. Here is the picture that has been shared around the world, but it was what was found inside the whale that has a lot of people talking. More than 100 plastic cups, more than 1,000 pieces of string, and of course, plastic bags. Every day, the folks at the Clinic for the Rehabilitation of Wildlife see its impact.
Particularly young eagles seem to get in trouble a lot.
Dr. Heather Barron with Crow says one of the biggest setbacks our pollutants and plastics do is disrupt the reproduction of some wildlife. So for everyone and everything's sake, on your next beach day, don't forget to clean up.
We have a better handle on what is going on within the industry.
It's a tale of two sides. One is home to traditions generations deep. The other,
I gotta get a smaller treat for you two, okay?
with its own history.
Good girl.
But at the heart of these two stories, the love for dogs, the same as Jean McNabb.
This is going to be huge.
Jean voted to end the racing in November's election. She was on the winning side, and now the fate of our racing dogs has been set, or she thought.
That's why I'm hoping we'll be able to find some forever homes for these wonderful dogs.
Barnaby.
One group that's no stranger to forever homes,
Barnaby is just a big love bug.
the Gulf Coast Humane Society.
Hey, Maverick, don't be scared. It's okay, honey. You know, you want to see them go into loving homes.
Both the state and national groups behind the Humane Society were a big push behind the success of Amendment 13 passing. Gulf Coast's Executive Director Jennifer Galloway says it's time.
And when you see all these other states that are also banning, greyhound racing, there's, where there's smoke, there's fire.
The Humane Society historically has not taken in many greyhounds. There's a reason for that.
They're very passionate about the greyhounds, and they make sure that those dogs are taken in and safely taken care of.
What or who Galloway is referring to are greyhound adoption groups, and many have close relationships with tracks. That's the story here in Bonita Springs.
A couple that are up for adoption. The little fawn girl there is Lizzie. She's about 2. She didn't want to race, so she's going to go to a home already.
There's good news for the dogs. That's thanks to groups like GST Sun State Greyhound Adoption.
And this is Bear.
It too, familiar with finding forever homes.
I'm down here every Friday for people to meet greyhounds because so many have never seen them up in person.
Bred to run, see them race. When they retire, they lick your face.
One of the leading legs behind these adoptions is Sharon Dipple.
Some of those brindles look.
As you can imagine, she voted against ending the industry she's been a part of for so long.
You have people here that started working here when they were 20. They're now 60.
And now their future, unlike the dogs, may be in more of a gamble.
I don't know what's going to happen. I can't answer that because I don't know.
She can worry about herself and others like her at tracks around the state because come 2020, she says the dogs will be all right.
And we haul our dogs to approved greyhound adoption groups that only specialize in greyhounds.
Some careers won't end. They'll head north to states like Iowa, where racing will continue.
Boogie was not the best racer.
Kathy Hanratty is next to Sharon every week. She said some wait 6 months to get a dog like Boogie.
And he made himself right at home.
More good news.
They are beautiful dogs.
For people like Jean, worrying about the future of our greyhounds. In Lee County, Ben Henry, ABC 7.
I've been in law enforcement for 20 years and I've never had anybody request me to pull them over.
That wasn't until Police Chief Tom Mosier met Ted Sherwood. Sherwood is an EMT with the Spring Valley Ambulance. He and his girlfriend Ashley Lane just celebrated their 3-year anniversary.
I knew probably within the first 6 months. There was just
agree?
Yes. There was just something about her.
And on that anniversary, they started out with some breakfast, and the rest was a day they will never forget.
We went to Perkins on a date and then Walmart, and he was kind of stalling, and then we were on our way home, and then he proposed.
Well, he didn't just propose in the car. Tell us a little bit about it.
Me and Chief Mosier had it planned that he was going to do a felony traffic stop, and I told Ashley, I said I was feeling a little rambunctious and I'm not going to stop. And about that time, she was in the vehicle freaking out, telling me to stop.
Planned down to a T and as realistic as possible, Sherwood used his love of law enforcement to help with one of the biggest moments in his life.
Something in my vehicle that I really do need, though.
Oh yeah, what is that?
This right here, sir.
I think you better explain this to her.
Ashley Nicole Lane. 3 years, and I want you to be mine for the rest of your life. Will you marry me? She said yes. Called me a jerk a few times. We laughed about it.
Well, I noticed Ted looked nervous the whole time. And Ashley looked nervous until she put her hands on the hood of the car. I see she looked over at Ted, and then I seen this smile.
Just one of many smiles to come.
That's for sure. She keeps on looking at the videos of the dash cam and body cam every day, and so do I. I probably will for quite some time.